afternoon and greetings, and welcome to the Conversation with Al McFarlane. I am W.D. Foster Graham. I am the book review editor for Insight News and co-host for our Book Chat Thursday edition of the Conversation with Al McFarlane. On our show, we talk about everything from the African and African American diaspora, providing inspiring, stimulating, um, incisive, and robust conversations. We are currently at 1,500 subscribers, and we're shooting for 2,000. So if you enjoy and appreciate our contact and context, please like, share, and subscribe to the conversation with Al McFarland. Our guest for today is someone I had the distinct privilege of meeting during the recent Minnesota Black Authors Expo in December. She is an American writer, a spoken word poet, and a performing artist. She discovered her love for poetry at the age of 12, and her passions for composing and performing poetry are gifts from God. She was born and raised in Chicago, and her parents, John and Alice Washington, had 13 children together. And she has always been joyful that she and her twin sister Allison share the same birthday with their father. And she writes to encourage and inspire others to seek and reflect on their purpose and self love. And in these days of times, that is an imperative. So it is my good pleasure to introduce to you on the conversation with Al McFarlane, Alcina Washington Fowler.
Thank you. It's so great to be here, and it helps me to know that I'm doing something great. No matter how small it is, I'm doing something great. I'm reaching, I'm stretching, and I'm aiming to help others, to encourage others, and to motivate others because we are all here for a purpose.
Yes,
And
indeed.
and I believe that God didn't just put us here and just say, okay, just be here. We all have a purpose.
That is true. And we ask, I say, to reveal what that purpose is. All right. And I guess also to be open and receptive to receive it when it's
Yes.
revealed to us.
Hmm.
So tell our viewers about yourself. About how you grew up, that sort of thing.
Well, I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and have 13. Well, my parents had 13 children, 11 girls and 2 boys. And I have a twin sister. And growing up, of course, we all weren't in a home together. Some of them, the older ones, they had moved out or, had their careers. So I think there was like three sections of us. So many, 13. So yeah, there are three sections. And our father, he instilled math and English and the importance of education upon us. He was real strict about our education. And he always said your math and English are what you need. And that is what math wasn't a really great thing for me. But I stuck with the English, I stuck with the words, and I found my love of writing at the age of 12. And I believe, yeah, one of my older sister, it was her birthday. And I have no idea where I got these items from at 12 years old. But I gave her a king size Hershey bar, some Betty Boop socks, and a birthday card. Before gave her the birthday card, I read it. And I just said to myself, I didn't say this. At 12 years old. And so I studied how those words were formed on that card. And then I crossed them out and I added my own words. And that's how I discovered my gift of writing poetry.
Hmm.
Yes.
That is amazing in ways I
Yes.
can relate. Because, yeah,
Yes.
I've written poetry from time to time, but then
Mhm.
prose more. But as soon as I was old enough to hold a pencil, that's when I started writing.
Right. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So, so again, since they say you have a twin, tell us about Allison and yourself.
Allison, we're fraternal twins. She's living in Arizona. She has three children, and they are grown. She has multiple. I think she has like about 7, 8 grandchildren, and she loves them all. They are adorable, beautiful children, and she takes being a parent and a grandparent very seriously, and she does it from her heart. Yes, so she loves her grandchildren, and she's also love. She knows her history. She knows, like when we're thinking of on our family chat, when we're trying to remember things, she remembers things that we never even heard of. She remember she remember things that happened like 20 years ago. I remember that. I'm like, how was she old enough to know all of that? You know? Yeah, so she knows her history, and she knows everything about our family, great
That's
aunts and
all.
uncles, and she just lays all out. And my family would text me, where did she get this information? Yeah, so my twin and I, we're fraternal. She loved, I said, she also loved to write. And she's a very well-spoken person, and she speaks her mind. She speaks the truth because she knows a lot of truth, and she would give it to you.
Hey,
Yes.
there you go. It's always good to have that one person who's the historian, as it were.
Yes, 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 that's her. Mhm.
So, now, growing up, who were the persons who were your mentors? Who were the role models, especially when it came to your gift for writing?
Within the family, it was my father, because he always encouraged me. He took a joy in my writing. And I remember when we were younger, when I was younger, living in Chicago, and he would take me around the neighbors and say, this is my daughter Alcina. Although they know me, she's a writer. Everyone we meet, this is my daughter, she's a writer. So he would always push my gift out to people. He always motivated his children, all 13 of his children. So he was my inspiration because he loved history, and he loved words, and just really kept inspiring me.
Wonderful. And it's always so good to have that supporter in your family.
Mhm.
Now, how about persons who were, they say, outside the family?
Outside the family, in Chicago, I had a couple of people who, when I was just starting off, before we had any of the phones and all of the electronics. I have a person who will always, her name is Angela. She was older than I, and she will always encourage me to keep on writing. And my words were beautiful. She always say, just don't let anyone stop you. Just keep going and keep going. And when I got to Minnesota, I started getting into things like learning, basically learning more and more about the spoken word. Back when I came to me, I didn't learn about spoken word until I moved to Minnesota. I just knew that it was poetry.
Hmm.
So I didn't know about the spoken word and how you can put your emphasis on it, and you can just speak from your heart and just speak with, like you're acting, but like you're in drama. You expressing yourself from your heart, you put an emphasis on it. And as I started writing and started watching other spoken word artists, I grew more and more on how the spoken word came to be. And I used to watch Russell Simmons when he had his spoken word. It was come on every Friday. on HBO, and I will watch that, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's how they do it. That's how, people express themselves." And I just started learning from them and started working at it, memorizing my work, and it does help when you memorize it. So at all the 200 plus poems that I've written, I think I memorized maybe like 20 of them.
Hey,
Yes. Yeah, about 20 of them. And it really it helps me to give better, give eye contact, good eye contact, and focus, and just be myself and just express myself and try to capture the room and the people, and just make them engage, help them to become more and more engaged.
that is so true. Because after all, no one can share the poem like the poet.
That's true. Yes, that is very true. And I always say that poets, sometimes people, well, I had people that say, "Oh, poets, they write their stuff be sad, their stuff be too emotional." And I was like, "Well, we write from our heart, and we write from our emotions. We write from, well, our experiences." And we do write about good experiences. We write about happy experiences. We write to motivate and encourage others. And I also shared with someone a couple of days ago, if you listen to these love ballads, these songs, these singers, these songwriters, it's about emotions. They sing from their emotions also, because it's always about, majority of the time, it's about breakup. So, they're heartbroken, they're sad, they're begging for someone to come back. So,
Mhm.
so they are also writing, they're singing, but we're speaking it. And that's just the way it is, These songs, majority of these songs you listen to, you sit and listen to, they're love ballads. It's about breakup. It's about wanting someone, looking for someone, desiring someone. And that's what it's about. So yes, that did bother me for a while, but then it came to me, like, I can't change the way I write, because we write from our heart, we write from our emotions, and majority of the singers, they're singing the song, but majority of them are not the actual songwriter. We write our own material. We
Oh
don't,
yes.
yeah, poets write their own material. They're not going to, like, oh, look for someone to write poetry so they can speak it. No, I've never, I really, really, no, I don't remember the last time I got up and performed someone else's poetry. I may, like, asserted a few of their lines in my poetry, but I write from my own heart.
And that is the whole gist when it comes to spoken word, because when we write poetry, we do write from our hearts. So sometimes
Hmm.
it can be happy, sometimes it can be
That's true.
whimsical,
Hmm.
sometimes it can be sad. But it draws from all different emotions and ranges and whatever is inspired that poem.
Hmm.
So, because I'm going to be asking you to share some of your work during the course of the program. So,
Okay,
so
wonderful.
look forward to have you share it. So,
Okay.
that being said, what now let's go delve a little deeper into what inspired you to start writing poetry.
What inspired me to start writing, as I mentioned, I've discovered it at 12. And when I fully, I didn't, although I was writing it when I was a preteen and a teen, I didn't really truly understand the seriousness of what I was writing until I became a young adult. And as I experienced the world and society and people,
Hmm.
and even myself and situations and the complexities in this world, that's when I started understanding, okay, I'm gonna write about this. I'm gonna write about this. And it just go away with it, just flow with it.
Yeah. And from what I'm reading, it's very inspiring because the one thing that stood out when I reviewed your book as well as
Mm-hmm.
Brennan, because it definitely has a faith spiritual basis that goes all through your works.
Mm-hmm.
So um, so I say, so tell our or share with our viewers about the spiritual component to your work.
I seek God for everything, and it is through Him, as it says in the book of Acts, it is through Him that I move, live, and have my being. And everything, I write through Him. I say, God, give me the words to say. What do you want me to say in this? And majority of my work recently, majority of my work comes in the middle of the night, like at 2 in the morning. And thank God we have our phones. So sometimes I could, like, before I forget, I'll just like, okay, go to my music, my notes, and just speak it in. And then sometimes it be all gibberish, how sometimes be picking up your language. Then I just go back and correct it. But I usually speak it in, and it comes to me in the middle of the night, majority. Recently a lot of it came to me in the middle of the night. Like my third book that just came out. Majority of this book, Motions of New Faith, Reclamation of Believing Again. Majority of this came to me in the middle of the night. Deep in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh God, I gotta get up. Okay. And I didn't even have a title. I didn't get the titles until later. Or sometime I'll get the title and then words come to it and it just starting to flow. And sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't make sense, I'll probably squeeze it into another poem. And if that doesn't work, I just like this is not going to work. So yes, everything that comes to me, I don't use because it doesn't sound really, really. It doesn't sound all that good. But yes.
Well, and that being said, okay, could you share some of your poems?
Okay, this is one of my strongest poems because I had people used to say, "Oh, how'd you get up there and speak and your voice is so soft?" They were so negative, which I still have negative people right to this day, which I just experienced someone negative a few days ago. But and I titled this piece, Now What? Now what? Do you really think that you can keep me down, speak badly of me, take my joy, ridicule me, and judge straight, belittle me? If I had the same mind as you, I would speak and do as you do. But being that I don't, I won't. However, I will say this: what God has for me, it is for me. If you're trying to take it from me, then your fight is with Him and not with me. This is the call that He has placed on me. If you don't understand it, please don't try to stop me from standing. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Therefore, I will step out of line and allow Him to fight for what He said is mine. Yes, you have broke my pride, brought me to tears. And yes, I believed your lies. That was because I was so consumed by your disguise. But listen here, there would be no more looking at you, seeing and hearing the hard things you say. There would be no more looking at you and seeing my past because I now look ahead, believing what God says and said. Hey, Maya Angelou, I was so once like that caged bird that you wrote about, so willing to sing, be free, and be heard. You said that a caged bird stands on the grave of his wings. His shadow shouts and the nightmare screams. His wings are clipped and his feet is tied. Therefore, he's opened his throat to sing. I've seen a dream. I dream of words. I dream to write them down, express them, and be heard. I dream to release and place beneath me those who are trying to decrease me. If your ears are silent to what I have to say, then I would move on because it may not be for you, anyways. I want to write my life, my dream, my soul, words upon words. See, if I don't write, then I will not be right. Words come to me day and night. Sometimes they are so strong, taking my strength and bringing me sleepless nights. But however, once I rise, pray, and start to write, I regain my strength. This is me. This is who I am called to be. Therefore, I will write and I will breathe. Now what?
Whoa, yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you.
um, definitely a powerful poem.
Thank you.
Oh, so I have a question. Actually, there was a phrase, or actually a reference in your book that sticks with me. Tell our viewers about my lovelies.
My lovelies, ooh, that came to me in like in April of 25, and it's in my third book. My book is, I titled it My Lovelies because I feel that we all are lovely, and that just let the women know. And that's even for men also. They are lovely. They are valuable and they are of great importance. And that is how when I'm doing my podcast, which I had also started in May, I introduce them. I describe them as lovely. And I'm going to try to find this piece that I've written on lovely. It's in my third book here. What page is it on? And this is one thing I wrote about them, their smile. Let's see here. Greetings, lovely. Your mirror is waiting for you. Your mirror is waiting for you to see yourself with a smile. You deserve it. You deserve your own smile. Smile. You are needed. And this is another piece for them. Lovelies. It's another day. This is a notice to you and for you. Don't forget to love yourself today, not only in the mirror, but in the silence. In the breath you did not rush, the breath you took your time to breathe, in the boundaries of your heart, in the boundaries that you honored, the truth you dare to speak because someone silenced you. You were not mistakenly created. You were not mistakenly recreated at all. You were created for a purpose. And Psalms 139 and 14 declares that I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well.
Mm, 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 mm. Thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
So, question for you on this. What may have hindered you to give up writing or even stop writing for a period of time?
Ooh, the poems that I just shared. Now, what people they tried to hinder me. They tried to say that my voice was soft. And when I would say, "Oh, I have a speaking engagement come up," several people would say, "Oh, how many mics would you use?" Just
Mm,
never inspiring. Majority, they're just so cruel. But and that stopped me for a moment, and not just them. I stopped myself because I decided, I was thinking, "Oh God, why did you put me out here? Why do you want people to see me? Why do you want me to speak before people?" Why? Why do you want me to do this? And I had problem with my appearance, which some people didn't understand why, but that was just me. And I was just like, oh God, can I just do this and just keep it for myself? But he didn't. He put me out there maybe like over about 10 plus years ago when I started. And but this is what helped me to grow at my spoken word, my poetry, and to turn it into spoken word was I was given the opportunity by my apostle, Dwayne Hill of High Praise Ministries, when I was given a platform to speak. And when I started speaking, we didn't have any tablets or we didn't have the tablets or anything like that. So I would just go up there with my notebook, handwritten poems, and I would share it with the congregation. And then it grew. That platform helped me to know how to speak, know how to read the audience, know how to see myself, know how to see my gift, and know how to work with the delivery of each poem. Because not all poems or spoken word receive the same delivery and the same posture. And it depends upon the title and the stance of the poem. You react different, you stand different, you speak differently, and you deliver it differently. But I grew from there, and that helped me so much. And after writing it, then I started typing it up in my tablet, and I would bring that up there because But as poets, we can bring our books, we can bring our notes, we can bring our notebook, and we can speak before people. So that really is not bad to do. But I started rehearsing and studying, and it takes prayer. It takes a lot of prayer to memorize your poems. Takes a lot of prayer to get out there and share with hundreds of people. And that's what I learned to do. And I found myself, I say, God, no matter how down packed I may have it, like Moses, I need your presence. Because I was like Moses. He thought he was inelegant at speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And he questioned God. And I was like, oh, God, I'm like Moses. I need you. And I just say, don't send me out there by myself. I don't care how down packed I may have it, how memorized I may have it. I need your presence with me. Don't ever send me alone. And I and also I just started when we were shut down. I was working in the office, and two of my coworkers, they had since retired. We were shut down, and we were from COVID. And then the George Floyd protests was going on because I was working at the government center, and she said, and because there was only two of us in there, and she's asked me, she said, "Can I call you?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "We want to start a listening session because of what's going on, the shutdown, and then what happened with George Floyd that's going on, and people just need to be encouraged. And I think you're the one to do it." And I thought it was going to be for two sessions, and it ended up being countless sessions. And they
Mm.
had since retired, so I think I did over 20 sessions, and it was hard, but I did it. I encouraged them, I motivated them. It was a listening session. We talked about current events, talked about the shutdown and things that's going on. And there are people who would share, and sometimes it would be silence. And I would have to work hard, like, oh God, you gotta help me keep them motivated. Because when you're speaking, we were only given, well, we only had 30 to 45 minutes, but that was a long, long, long time. That's a long time when you're trying to keep people engaged.
Yes.
It was long, it was hard, and there was about four of us. And the last time I've done it, was over the summer when that shooting at that school over south in Minneapolis. Those kids, I think the name that Decision School. Someone's asked me, "I'm seeing that people need you. Would you mind doing a listening session?" And I say, "Okay, would you like to do it for next month? We can do it next month." She say, "No, we need to do it tomorrow." And this was on a Wednesday. No, she only had 2 days. This is only Tuesday. She said, "No, we need to do it Thursday."
Mm.
I was like, "Oh, do I have time to prepare?" She said, "It's in you. We need you." She said, "I'll send out the email." And I said, "Okay, if you send out the email, that would be good." I won't mind doing it, but the hard part of it, one of the hardest part is sending out the emails. If you send out the email to hundreds of people, and yeah, I just don't like, I'm not really big on sending out mass emails. But yes, I would do the listening. That was the last time I did the listening session at work.
Wow.
Mhm.
And it sounds like it's something that's still ongoing.
Yes, every once in a while she'll say, "Oh, Sydney, you mind doing a listening session with me?" Yes, yeah. But it used to be every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, or was it? No, I'm sorry. It was once a month because yeah, it was once a month on a Thursday, and it was a lot of work, but we did it.
Indeed. And say, I acknowledge you and
Mhm.
the spirit within you.
Yes, thank you.
Now, in motions of new faith and purposes, one thing that goes through you through your poetry and spoken word is reclamation. Could we explore that?
Okay, this title came to me again in the middle of the night. Motions of new faith, reclamations of believing again, because I had to reclaim my beliefs. I had to reclaim my belief that God gave me this gift. And no matter what society said, no matter what I say, this is my gift. I had to believe that I can do it. I had to believe that I am of great importance. I had to believe that again that I am of value. And had to believe again that not everyone is gonna like my poetry. Oh, what someone did tell me that when I this book came out and they said I was saying that not everyone like poetry like that. It's like that. Not everyone. I'm like, but whatever. Yes, someone told me that, and I just like, oh my god, how you just tell somebody that? But that's just you. But it didn't stop me. But see, things like that is why we need to keep our beliefs open. We need to stay in connection with God. We need to read His Word and believe His Word. Because I had to it took a lot of work because I would say, "Oh, I'm not going to speak anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore." And there was a period of time when I even took like a 3 or 4 month break from speaking at church because my belief system was messing with me, and I just say, "I'll let you know when I'm going to do it again." And she just texts me and say, "Alcina, we need you. Which like, are you ready to speak again? It's in you. We need you. We believe in you and people love your work." And even, the members, they would come to me, "Oh, sis, I miss your spoken word. You're so inspiring. When you gonna come back?" I say, "I'll be back." And they will always say that. But I say, "Okay, I'll come back." Yes.
Yes. Well, yes, the reclamation and how worthy and being able to love ourselves, I've seen that is definitely key. As a writer myself, I know when I was much younger, I know it was like that. It's just being nervous about speaking in front of people. That
Yes.
people say,
Oh. Hmm.
people talk about that. People fear public speaking more than they fear death. I don't quite get it, but people do.
Hmm.
But, so that being said, do you, let's hear another poem.
Okay. Let me see this poem. I can read something from my new piece, or I'm going to read something I just posted.
Uh,
I just posted this because someone who tried to belittle my poems. So this is a newborn poem, maybe like a few days old. And let me get to it. Let me see here. Okay, let's see which one. I just let me see. I posted it on my Facebook page because we sometimes there are people who are gonna keep you down. There are people who's not gonna like you, which I understand that and I accept that. But that's just the way it is. Okay, and this is called change. I titled this piece "Change." And I introduced this poem on my Facebook page. It's a history and destiny. It is great to recognize both. My destiny is happening. I just want to make change, push, spread love, and concern for women who feel unspoken. But there will be those who will try to change you from being the change. I want to make change, not the kind that screams for attention, but the kind that breathes in a room where women have learned to swallow their truth, where they have learned to be quiet, where they have learned to be silent. I want to push, not people, but boundaries that were never meant to cage our voices, boundaries that was meant to keep us silent. I want to spread love and concern like warm hands on cold backs, like someone finally saying, I see you, I hear you. I want you to say that you are important. I want you to hear me say that you are important. But listen here, there will always be those who will mess with you. There will be those who will always try to change you from being the change. And I ended with this. God created me with his rights to write. So no one else gave me the rights to write. It came through God. It's his creative purpose for me. And I just have to do it. There's going to be voices, negative voices, positive voices, silent voices, but I have to keep mine going because this is my purpose.
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
and and in your purpose, what is the legacy that you wish to pass down to your children and your grandchildren?
My purpose is to know your value, know that you're important. And as my father would say, don't nobody owe you nothing, only the strongest survive. And you got to get out there and you got to do what God called you to do, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, you do those jobs and you do it well.
So
And
true.
that's, yes.
And our gifts do make room for us.
Yes, they do. They do. And my mom used to, my mom used to always say, "Sing, you know how to write." She's called me Cena. Yeah, both my parents had both passed away and now
Hmm.
passed away, but they were both motivators and encouragers. My mom, she was a strong woman. She worked and she took care of her household and they kept me going. They kept me knowing the value of myself. And I used to, we was just recently speaking to this. You know how we have it was that our parents had a lot of kids, yeah. But our mom will always make sure we had food on the table. We'll be outside playing and she'll say it's time to eat. And we was like, where did see this food in the refrigerator? Where does come from? And like say like she had 12 wings, she would have 12 wings. Now if you fry those wings, they can't feed anyone. But she would boil them, season with some rice, and those 12 wings would be enough food to last for 2 days
Mm,
because of
hmm.
how she prepared it. And that's how we have to do with our purpose. We got to know how to spread it. Those 12 wings, as I said, just said, if she would have fried those wings, how are we gonna eat 12 wings? But she put those wings in a pot and the meat fell off and then she had the rice and the other, vegetables mixed in it, and I was a big old meal. And I don't know how she did it, but she would always make it spread with rice and chicken and dumpling. They knew
Mm-hmm.
how to make things spread. They knew how to make things work. They knew how to bring satisfaction to people, to their children, and let them know that they are valued.
You're right about that because as you were describing that, you're talking about how I grew up. here in the Twin Cities and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes,
family said like I said, I have a younger brother and sister, but I have 31st cousins because my mom was the fifth of six children. And here in this community, it's sort of like everybody knew everybody else, or everybody knew of everybody else. And and growing up, hey, we thought we were poor, but we didn't know we were poor because our parents, just like yours, made sure that our needs were met.
that's true. Yes,
So
yes.
as adults right now, what are the things that we can do, especially to rebuild that sense of community?
The sense of community, coming together, not being against each other, motivating and respecting each other. And there's enough room for everybody's gift. Why would you try to put someone or discourage someone from their calling, from their gift? He said, if you teach, teach. If I can't sing. I can put words together to speak them as in form as spoken word and poetry, but I can't sing them. And I heard some singers say, "Oh, I can't do no poetry." There's, you can come together and motivate each other and do it in a community as a community, as connection. You're not belittling each other. You're not pushing somebody away. You're not overstepping. You have room. If you want to do a poem, if you want to write poetry, I can't stop you from writing poetry. But I'm not going to compete with you. This is one thing I've never battled. I've never believed in battling because if I lose, then I don't know how to battle like that. That's not what my gift is for. I know that I'm not knocking it, but they'll those who can battle, let them battle. That's their gift and their poetry. That's not for me because I can't, there's no way I can do that. But I don't want to be competing my gift, my poetry with anyone else, because we all are great. I've been hearing some people, they won this battle, they won that battle. No, I don't I don't want to do that. Because my gift is good in its own form as God created it to be.
Indeed. And that reminds me of one of your poems and stuff that stands out for me, where it says, "Grant me the wisdom to say yes to what nourishes, restores, and aligns to truth, and the courage to say no to what drains, distorts, and demands my disappearance."
Yes. And I remember writing that from someone, it felt like I had to always be a yes to them. They text or call when they need me, but my texts and calls would go unanswered. And I will always feel that I got to do this. Stop what I'm doing to respond to their texts. Stop what I'm doing to answer their calls. And I just felt that it was like a bondage. And it's power. And then it was like control. And I just had to say, no more. I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to be afraid. And and being in bondage to that, which I written in my second book called Dear Mr. Fear, Dear Mr. Manipulator. That's in my second book, called The Artistry and Essence of Expressions, Narratives Transformed. And I broken away from that in Dear Mr. Fear after my counseling session. And this really helped me to get out of that because I was just so afraid of people and even friends who just took my softness and my kindness and they like manipulated it. They It's like narcissist behavior, and that's what I was enduring with a couple of friends, but I finally been released from that. So I thought I had to always answer somebody's yes. And just like Shonda Rhimes, she said, your no is a complete statement. And it took me
Indeed.
long to say, yes, it is. And it used to take me a long time to say no. I would explain my no for like 20, 30 minutes. And I was like, why am I doing this? I'm on the phone with them explaining my no. because I was afraid. I wanted to say no, but I was afraid of saying no. I said no with fear.
Hmm.
And yes, and that, yeah, I'm past that.
I hear you. When you spoke of that, it reminded me of I saw a little flyer in this was like decades ago when I was working, and it was in the um, it was in the company I think break room, and the thing said, "What part of no don't you understand?"
Yes. Hmm.
so,
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
so
I heard that before. Yes.
so my next question would be, what joy and excitement do you get from writing and encouraging others?
Oh, it's makes me feel like I helped someone. It caused me to feel like I saved someone. Maybe, someone who probably maybe wanted to hurt themselves, or just give up. Because there was even people, even this poem I just written on Monday, on Tuesday, someone say, "Oh, I've seen it. This is just what I needed. This just inspired me. Thank you. I needed this." And yes, this is make people feel important, let them feel invaluable, no matter who you are. What I write is for everyone. When I say lovelies, that's for everyone. That's for everyone. No exclusion. Because my gift is from God, and God is for everyone. And He said He's no respecter of persons. So I have to love people and let them feel loved. And lovelies just came to me, just that's a word that can fit everyone.
Hey,
Yes. Hmm.
definitely. Now, oh, since I mentioned in my introduction that you were at the Minnesota Black Authors Expo, how did you hear about it?
Oh, I heard about it through Jamia B. Johnston, who is my business partner. She, she say, "Hey sis, this coming up, sign up for it." And she does that a lot. "Hey sis, this coming up, sign up for it." So she keeps me motivated. She keeps me encouraged, and she keeps me going. And God, and she even before we became really really close, my first book came out in 2018, From the Silent Tears to the Spoken Word, Strong Faces Emerging Out of Pain. When she introduced her book came out, Winter Storm, and we attended the same church. And I say, "Oh, how did you write your book? I want to write a book, but I don't know how to get started, and I'm afraid." She say, "Sis, I will help you. You're gonna write your first book. You can call me. We can do, we can do video. But you're gonna write your first book." And she say, "So get started." So I went into my emails and just looked for all the poems I've ever written. Went through notebooks, looked up every poem I ever written, and I typed them up. It took some time, but I typed them up, and I she stuck with me. She showed me how to. We went through Outskirts Press at that time, the publishing company. That's where she went through. She showed me all the ropes, and she stuck with me from beginning to end. And then my first book was published. Yes.
Oh, well, shout out to Jemiah.
Yes.
Definitely a shout out. So,
Yes.
and that being said, can you share us one more poem?
Okay, let me see which one. I will share Dear Mr. Fear, Dear Mr. Manipulate, but that is very, very long. Okay. Um, this one that just came to me. This one, just when I open the book, so I'm gonna share this one. It's called Rest and Reflection. Because some of us do need rest. Sometimes we just go, go, go. And this even taps into saying no. Always gotta be available for people. You need rest. God give you the right to rest. He didn't he didn't say be people pleaser, get up and do whatever somebody wants you to do. He wants you to rest. Sometimes doing nothing is doing something. Relaxing is doing something. Relax and decompress from focusing on things that take up your mind, body, and space from peace. In the moments of relaxing, allow those things that have built mountains in your mind to drift away. Do not have the feeling that you have to be pressed on every side. You do not have to feel the pressure of being everybody's everything, being everything to everybody. Do not allow yourself to become burnt up, burnt down, and burnt out. Reaffirm your breath and rest. Matthew 28:11 and 28 says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Yes. Thank you.
And thank you.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
so so I'll see. Now I have a question, and I ask all of my guests as authors of
Mm-hmm.
spoken word the following: what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self from where you are now?
The advice that I would give my 13-year-old self, and that's when I discovered my gift of writing about 12 or 13, is that keep going. Don't allow racism. Don't allow your complexion. Don't allow yourself to stop you. Keep going as you have done, because you did this at 13 and here you are now. Just keep going. And there are gonna be negative things in your way all the time. And then sometimes those negative things are encouraging. They motivate you to keep moving. If someone is always keeping you happy and keeping you things are joyful in your life, you're going to stay right there in that joy. But if somebody discouraging you, it's either you're going to sit in it or you're going to say, no, this is not going to stop me. I'm going to keep on going. I want my 13-year-old self to reach into my future self to say, keep going. Do not give up. No matter what is thrown at you, keep going. Keep moving, keep writing, keep doing what you've been called to do. And be
There you
great to
go.
yourself. Love yourself and appreciate yourself.
There you go. So, when you think about spoken word or poets and stuff, who are some poets that you have read about, or you have heard that inspire you?
Some poets I've been inspired by is, of course, Maya Angelou. She was one of the ones who, because spoke from pain. She spoke from being abused. She spoke from many areas that I've experienced. And she kept going until, you know, she became elderly. And she kept on going. She kept on writing. She was writing in her 80s. She was speaking in her 80s. She didn't give up. She didn't let anything stop her. And her phenomenal woman and her caged bird, those were the two strongest poems that really touched me. I know why the caged bird sing, and that's why I use the small excerpts in my piece. Now what? Because that kept me going. She wasn't gonna be that caged bird. The caged bird, I believe, I'm just interpreting. I believe that caged bird, when she was saying to that caged bird, "You may be caged." She said, "I know why the caged bird sing." That caged bird was singing freedom. That caged bird was singing, "I am important." That caged bird, "I have to get out here and spread my wings and love to everyone." And that's what I believe she meant. And she
Yeah.
inspired me.
Oh, yeah, I get that. As I say, the Cage Bird sings. One of my favorites by her is "Still I Rise."
Still I rise. Yes, 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 yes. Yep. That's a great one. That's a great one also. Yes.
There is one thing when it comes to poets and artists that, you know, and even here in my 70s, I think about the fact that poets and artists are the vanguard and the barometer of social change. Would you like
Hmm.
to elaborate on that?
Oh, that is because you see them out there speaking. Oh, I be hearing some strong poems. I be hearing some strong poems like, oh, oh, that is deep. I see it on TikTok and it just keeps me going. And they just encourage people. They speak from their truth. They speak with power and they speak from anger because of what's going on. And I believe that's why people say poets, some of their things are sad because we speak from truth, we speak from pain, we speak to encourage. Everything is not going to always be, you know, feel good words. Because feel good words. Sometimes we need words that's going to tell us the truth, and that's why I believe, yes, those poems is meant, is here, and we need it. And they are powerful. Oh my God, they're real powerful. I'm like, oh that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the word my dad used to always say, beautiful.
Ah,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, so which brings me to another question because since we're talking about that, there's an African proverb uh, that resonates with me. So I just want to ask, how it says to you. And it goes like this: until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter.
How that resonates with me. It feels like that the lion probably feels that he wants a chance to tell his story. They're not going to take his side because he doesn't may not have the opportunity to speak, and he's holding it in for various reasons. Maybe because out of fear, maybe because things holding him back, circumstances holding him back. But he said, until the lion tells his story, that means that when that lion tells his story, he's going to speak some truth. He's going to speak change, and he's going to speak encouragement, and he's going to motivate people. He's going to rise people up, and he's going to draw people together. He's going to bring community together. He's going to bring out love until he tells his story.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Hmm.
you. Now, where can our viewers and readers out there purchase your book?
All three of my books are on Amazon. Motions of New Faith and Purpose, Reclamation, Beginning Again, Believing Again, and Artistry and Essence of Expressions. And my very first book, From the Silent Tears to the Spoken Word. They're all on Amazon. You can Google my name, Alcina Washington Fowler. Alcina is spelled Alcina, Washington hyphen Fowler, Fowler. All three of them are on there. And also my podcast, which Jamil B. Boland Johnson, Jamil and I, we do our podcast together and called Visibly Unseen.
Visibly
And
unseen.
yes, Visibly Unseen. She's a strong force in on the podcast. We both are, and she motivates me. She keeps me going, and but I gave her this phrase, visibly unseen. She said, sis, we got to do something with that. Let's start a podcast. And we started the podcast right away. We didn't waste time. It didn't take months. It didn't take years. We started it right away. And we're on season 2, episode 8 of our podcast. So yes, you can see it. You can see it. It's also on Amazon, and it's also when you Google it, and and it'll be also under Chase editing services. And you can also, yeah, look both of us up, and you will get more information about our book. Our books are on Chase editing, and and you can just go there on Google to look it up, and you will see everything that we've done, everything that we're doing. And again, my name is spelled Alcina, Washington Fowler. Or you can look under Chase Editing, and you will also see Jamia B. Johnson. And you will see our work that we've done, that we've been created to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you heard it here, viewers, and it has been an inspiring conversation with Alcina Washington Fowler. And to say we appreciate you and to say
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you,
So,
lovelies.
hey, okay, I keep that to keep that in mind. Alcina, as far as lovelies. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so this is W.D. Foster Graham for Book Chat Thursday, the conversation Al McFarlane, and we'll see you on the next go round.
Thank you. Thank you.